Alright, this is going to be on the test for sure. I'm going to show you the steps on the calculator. Okay, so it's a little bit tedious, so let's let's hang in there with me. Okay, so here's going to be, I'll put negative 1y. Okay, so that's per second matrices. Okay, then go over to edit. Right, it's always going to be 2, enter 3, 2 by 3 matrix. Right, so what number is that? 6, enter, what number is that? 3, enter, what number is that? 13, enter, 3, enter, negative 1, enter, 4, enter. So you type in the matrix, right? The 6 numbers, right? And then per second, quit to go to the original screen, clear your screen. Per second, matrices, go over towards math using this arrow. Go down, where it says RREF, press enter. The next thing we're going to put our matrices in there. So per second, matrices, and you see how it's right there on A? So all you have to do is press enter. And then press enter once more, right? What do you notice? That it's not, the fraction is not in decimal. I mean, it's in decimal, it's not in fraction, right? So in order to change that, you press math, and then you see where it says fraction. We change to fraction, press enter, enter. And there your x is going to be, your solution is your x and your y, right? The x is going to be what's on top, because right here's your x, so we're going to say what? 5 over 3. And your y is going to be what, y'all? The next one, which is what? 1. So what does the question ask you? They ask you for your what value? They ask you what is the x value, right? So our x value would be what? 5/3. Okay? And that's how you do that calculator trick. It's very useful. Okay? A lot of people don't like to use calculators, but I mean, if it's a tool there, I mean, might as well use it, right? Let's do the next one. Here. Okay? It says, what is a 0? Remember, 0 means the same thing as what? Solution. It also means x-intercept. And it also means what, y'all? Root. All the same thing. Right? So basically, where's the x-intercept? Where does it intercept? The x is right here. Right? Where does it touch at what? 1. What is a 0? It's what? 1. Because it causes it at what? 1. So 1 is the answer. Pretty simple. Right? The 0 is 1, where it crosses the x-axis. Okay? So let's go to number 28. This ain't a hard test, y'all. Don't make it too tough on yourself. Alright, ready? Here we have another equation. The same question as the last one almost. I mean, as kind of the same concept. What are the values of x? Right? So, whenever you see x squared, y'all, make sure you want to move everything to the left to make one side 0. Or basically, you move everything towards x squared, right? This case is on the left. So, put plus 4. You want to move it over. So, that'll leave it 0 here. Right? You'll have x squared plus x, and then here will be negative what? 2. Right? So remember, make the table. So basically you want to figure out when is y 0? What are the values of x? Basically, right? It says x is equal to this, x is equal to this, right? Whenever it has x squared and they ask you to find the values of x, they're most likely going to ask you, they're asking you for the solutions, the x-intercepts, the zeros, and the roots, right? So let's do that. Let's plug in the equation in the calculator. So y equals, let's clear these up. All I have to do is clear them. Press the clear button. The clear button right there. All right, anyways, so here we have x squared plus x minus 6. Right? So we'll say second table, delete. Alright, we're going to plug in these values, see which ones give us 0. Okay, so let's plug them in. -4, enter, that's not 0. Let's try, so we can cancel out f. Because if one of them doesn't work, the other one doesn't work. What about -2, enter. Here's the -4, so that one doesn't work. What about -3? -3, 0. So most likely it's going to be, if one of them works, then the other one's going to work, right? Let's try the other one. 2, 0. Right? So the answer here is H. Like I'm telling you, you can do a lot of stuff on the calculator, y'all. Y'all are going to do good on this test. Just relax, okay? Here we have a store manager begins his shift, right, with the same total amount of money. She keeps 200, which is why it says minus, and distributes the rest, that's why it says divided by 5, in the store. Which situation can be best represented by the function? What does the variable x represent in the situation? Right? Well, let's figure it out. It says the total amount of money the manager has at the beginning. If you read it carefully here, it says what? Beginning. So maybe. The total amount the manager has at the end? No, because it said beginning. The total amount of money each cash register gets at the beginning? Each would mean we have to divide it by 5. So it cannot be each cash register, right? Or each cash register, we can't do each because we have to divide it by what? 5 to get each of them, right? So the only one that makes sense would be A. The total they have at the beginning, then they subtract the 200, like they said, right? So the only one that made sense would be A. Okay? Now let's try 30. What is the equation in standard form of the line that passes through point 1 and 24? Look, y'all, we have equations there, right? And they give us an x and they give us a y. Why don't we just plug them in and see which one's what? Give us the answer, right? We can even plug them into our calculator. Right? We'll type in for x's, for all these x's, we'll put in 1. For the y's, we'll put in what? 24 until we get what? The answer choices, right? So let's see. Or we'll see which answer choice we get. So what is it? 3. And because all of these are the same, so we'll really just have to type it in, see which one of these are right. So 3 times, what is our x, y'all? 1 plus 5 times, what is our y? 24. What is the answer, y'all? 123. Which one's 123? H. Is that simple? Don't make this test too hard on yourself, okay? Like just, you know, it says y. Why don't we just plug in x and y and find out which one works? You see? Don't stress out too much, okay? Which coordinate pair is this in the solution set for y is less than 1 minus 6x? Right? Why don't we just plug in, here it is, y is less than 1 minus 6x. Right? These are your what? X's. And these are your what? Y's. Right? So let's plug in our x's. So there we're going to plug in. So here we're going to plug in our y, right? So here I'm going to plug in what? 1 for x. Here I'm going to plug in 0. So let's see what happens. If this is to be 0, so 0 is less than, right? And then we'll say 1 minus, what is that? 6 times what? 1 for x, right? That's what we got here. X is 1. What you get? -5. So 0, is it less than -5, y'all? No, it's bigger. Because negative number is small. So it cannot be A. Now let's try the next one. Let's try this x and this y. Right? So for y, we plug in, let me take that off, a 1, take that off. And for y, we plug in a -1. And for x, we plug in a what? A 1. We can leave that 1 there. Let's say y is -1. That means it's less than, and then we decided this one couldn't be it, right? Alright, so 1 minus what? 6 times what? 1 is -5. Is -1 smaller than -5? No, the bigger the negative, the smaller the number. So it cannot be that one. What about C? Alright, let me rewrite the y equation. So y is less than 1 minus 6x, right? So y, I'm going to plug in 1. See how it's 1 right here? And x, I'm going to plug in 0. So 1 less than 6 times 0, right? We'll just leave 1. We'll go away, right? So these ones are equal to each other. They're not less than each other, right? So the answer should be D. But just so we could look at it, just so we can make sure it works, y is what? Less than 1 minus 6x. So this is your x. This is your y. So x, I'm going to put a -1. Y, I'm going to put a 1. Put 1 here. It's less than 1. -1 times -6 is what, y'all? +6, right? So is 1 smaller than 1 plus 6 is 7. Is 1 smaller than 7? Yes. That's why it's D.